That's better. Now you're in frame.
Yay! Urine.
All right.
Not like urine Greyjoy.
What a punk bitch.
All right. Seemed like he had some super swag, and then one dragon from the fucking sun. I can't shoot it. Why am I not on the trebuchet or the scorpion?
Why could they shoot like 4 per minute last time, and now it takes an hour to reload?
Yeah, now it's like, quickly, why weren't we loaded earlier? I don't know.
When did the rules of physics and law and logic change in this universe? Week to week. Seems like a shitty place to live.
They're only good for actually like one shot, and then they're just trash after that.
All right, we're done talking about episode 5 because, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for episode 7 of Just BSing, talking about the series finale of Game of Thrones.
Ooh, series finale. God, this seems
event. What, 9 years? How many years in the making? It was 2009.
9, 10 years?
When did it come out? Was it 2010? Joey, Google machine me.
Googling.
I should have looked this up ahead of time. I'm an idiot and a terrible host sometimes. I'm Thomas, a.k.a. Mr. Wartburg. My Twitter handle is below me. Joey is my co-host. His Twitter handle is above him. So be sure to check both of us out on there. Joey doesn't really tweet much. He really just retweets stuff. I tweet stuff all the time, though, like my wood burnings and whatnot. Which I just tweeted out some stuff tonight about a Ruby set and an Assassin's Creed set of coasters. Pretty happy with how they came out, though. The Yang piece, the Yang coaster finish got really funky. So I'm not sure if that'll actually make its way down to a charity auction or not. We'll see what happens. So not to bury the lead, we're talking Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 6, the series finale, entitled The Iron Throne. Or the episode formerly known as The Iron Throne. Joey, when did it premiere?
It keeps giving me things about Season 8. I hate
literally just type Game of Thrones pilot launch date. That's literally all you gotta type.
That's what I did, but Bing was being weird.
What the fuck are you using Bing?
I just installed all the software on the PC. I need to get Chrome installed. I clearly don't. Jeez, Game of Thrones pilot. Again.
Jesus Christ. Off the rails already.
Rational. Oh my god, I don't have ad blocker, so every website I go to is so bad. 2009.
Okay, so it's 10 years in the making, essentially.
10 years in the making. Good God.
Which is crazy. Like, it came out when I was a sophomore in college. I didn't get into it until after college. I want to say going into season 4 is when I got into the show.
Yeah.
You were on it before I was.
I was trying to remember when I first watched it live, and I think it must have been like the start of, I think it's midway through season 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it was like on a family member's HBO Go when it first kind of.
Yeah, and that was like one of the shows that kind of helped launch the streaming wave too, because it was you could watch it day and date on HBO Go before HBO Now even existed. Like, and I mean, it's been that long on the air that streaming media for shows, at least like live network produced shows, that really wasn't a thing so much back then. I mean,
do you think it changed the way we view stuff now? Because I mean, like,
I think that's a little too esoteric, because I mean, we're still in the moment. Like, we definitely need to give it some breath, to be like, all right, we need to see how things change in its wake.
That's true.
Like, what's Disney going to do with Mandalorian? Is that going to all come out at once, or are they going to pull the episodic too? Because I can see Disney doing that.
Do you what makes them more money? Episodic or
episodic, because it keeps the subscriptions.
Yeah, because if you do it all at once, everyone watches it, unsubscribes, wait till season 2. Yeah, exactly. So episodic would be more beneficial for them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. But we're here to talk about Game of Thrones, the finale, and more specifically, they ended it that way, because that's how I'm titling the video. So there's lots of different podcasts out there that are going to go through the plot, but I'll go through the basic broad strokes. Okay. So we open in the direct aftermath of last episode, The Bells.
Yeah.
Daenerys is gone, full dark side, full Anakin, without any of the appropriate setup. Like, we got the actual... Okay. The foundation was there. The roof of the house was there.
Yep.
I kind of missed the first floor. And, like, the walls and shit.
Yeah. It's like a bad Minecraft house. Frickin',
right?
ugh.
Like it's just on still. It's just the 2x4 studs and the
Yeah.
roof. The roof is good. The foundation's great.
Mhm.
But man, that first floor is really just not finished.
It needs some stuff, and
It's like they were like, these are just studs. Slap some paint on it. That'll be good.
do you think
that's
adding
where we
2
are.
more episodes would have done it? Would have made it?
Yeah, I think between honestly,
Sorry.
and we'll get to this later, but I do think
Okay.
2 to 3 more episodes in each individual season would have greatly
Mhm.
helped where they ended up, because I actually didn't
Yeah.
mind that. The getting there was like, oh, we're there now.
Yeah, it
That's
was kind of
weird.
like, oh,
But
we're
we're getting
this
ahead of
is the end.
ourselves. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, sorry. Yep.
Aftermath of the Bells, King's Landing's pretty much fucked. Tyrion is leading
Demolished.
Davos and Jon through the streets of
Oh,
King's Landing, and they come across all this carnage, and they all realize she's got to die.
yeah. I mean, but John still kind of thought that she could, like, he was,
He was
still being
trying
like,
to justify it, which is still.
Yeah. Oh my
I'll
god.
come into why I didn't like that about his character the last 2 episodes.
He
and I'll come
literally
back to
killed
that.
one of his own men because
Yeah.
sorry, but
Yeah.
he was still too honorable for
No,
me.
he was too stupid, not too honorable.
Yeah,
Too
honorable, yeah.
stupid.
Too stupid. Yes.
Because this is the guy who shot Mance Ritter in the heart so he didn't burn alive.
Yeah.
Literally just 2.5 years ago in the story, in the world of the show, and all of a sudden now he's totally cool with tens of thousands of people being burned alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not the dude who existed. And again, you
No.
could say, hey, that guy died or whatever at the end of season 5.
Yeah.
But you haven't shown he's really changed that much until the last final 2 episodes. Then
Yeah,
you were
he-
like, oh, now he's this crazy love-struck fool, not the basically Ned Stark 2.0
I
that
did
you had
see
billed
that.
him as.
Yeah, I saw him as the Ned Stark 2.0. I mean,
And that's how they built his
But then-
character. That's
yeah.
how he acted. And then he just didn't.
Exactly.
And that they didn't
Ah,
came across so badly for me. But anyway, so Tyrion's like, well, I'm not
Yeah.
having this. And
God no.
he's like, I'll see you when it's time. And, you know, Tyrion meets up with Daenerys. Like, they kind of, like, you slowly get this impending sense of doom, and it's awesome. John
really
walking
well
through
done.
the Dothraki while Arya watches from the side. Him coming up the stairs. The shot of Daenerys with the dragon wings coming out behind her. Fuck, that was
really-
great.
Really
Fucking
good shot.
phenomenal. One of the top
Oh.
5 moments in Game of Thrones history.
Yes.
It's amazing. One of the greatest television shots I think we're ever going to see. So
yeah.
fucking cool.
Can you kind of? I'm trying to figure out how the freaking Dothraki seem to multiply. It felt like.
They just didn't. Again, this is where the rushing happens. In episode 4, they say she's only lost half the Dothraki,
Yeah.
and
but-
and half the Unsullied. She specifically says, "I have half the forces I left
That's
Essos
true.
with." So clearly, the number at the end is in line with that. They just didn't show it before that final moment, which was
Yeah, 'cause it
stupid.
just seemed like I was like, damn, this seems like a really.
And again, a
big-ass
lot
army
of
still.
we're telling, not showing, in the
Yeah.
last 3 to 4 episodes, basically post Night
Sure.
King. And
Yeah.
and I'll get into some of the stuff later, some of the
Okay.
interview stuff that they've said. But so Tyrion has this awesome moment where he's just like, "Yeah, I did betray you, and then you burned a city." Tosses the
Yeah.
pin down the stairs, and we see it thud down the stairs, and then he gets arrested. And John's again, the
Jesus.
fucking idiot, is just like, like, seriously?
Whatever.
you fucking kidding me? This dude,
It-
the season 5 John would have been like, yeah, fuck no. He'd have marched all his men around. They wouldn't have even gone in the fucking city. He'd have been like, oh, I know
Yeah.
what's about to happen. This isn't gonna go well.
definitely
This guy
would've
told
marched in.
Stannis fucking Baratheon to go, the guy who's known for burning his enemies alive, to go fuck himself, basically.
Yeah.
But nah, because he loves a woman, he's just totally gonna be cool with mass genocide. That's-
Yeah.
I get your message of like that love
Mhm.
corrupt, like love makes you like
Yeah.
not
They kind
be
of-
smart, but it's like,
Like
yeah,
love
but he
breaks
doesn't make
duty.
him that fucking dumb. Like that's
No.
so on the nose. It's just laughably dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
like
it
love
was.
blinding Tyrion. That's how you totally could tell that. Like it blinded him from making the smart choice. You didn't
Yeah.
need John to do that same thing. Like you didn't need to tell the same lesson twice.
Yeah, 2 characters do that, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, like and have them basically also team up to kill her. Basically, kind of
Yeah,
weird.
kind
Like,
of. But like, I
Yeah.
feel like Jon should have known after the genocide. He didn't need Tyrion to tell him
yeah,
that she needs to die.
there was a lot about the lead up to the decision for Jon that didn't make sense. Where the
Yeah.
decision made sense. Like, if you'd have told me, much like I predicted going into season 8,
Mhm.
oh, Jon's totally going to kill her when she goes crazy. I like
No.
rote for rote predicted
sense.
that. But it made total sense to me because
Yeah.
that's where that's leading, because she's going to go crazy. Jon, being the honorable leader he is, yeah, he loves her, but he's going to be like, fuck no, stab her, and then fuck off to the north. I pretty much predicted that going into the season. And it
Yeah,
happened,
he did call it.
but the how it happened was dumb, basically,
Yeah.
and defied the 7 years that we had known this character, basically. 7 years plus like 3 episodes, actually,
Yeah.
that we had known this character.
Well, and
That,
then like,
that to me is where they should have, if they had told the story of Jon and their relationship over more episodes, and you buy the fact that, oh yeah, he's totally in on her,
yeah, like he's blindly in love with her, essentially.
right? Like,
I didn't get that though. I mean, they
And
had
that
like
wasn't
a moment
shown.
on a boat, and then they had a moment while flying, and then it was like fighting after that. I mean,
yeah, like there was no, again,
Yeah.
for that, like Daenerys' turn foundation was great. The relation, the foundation of the Daenerys-Jon relationship was not great. So the payoff at the end could only be so good because the foundation's really shaky.
yeah.
Really good payoff though. Fantastic imagery, Drogon
Oh my
melting
God.
the throne.
That was super cool.
Fucking
Just the
awesome.
effects there.
Yeah.
And in Discord, when I said boo, when the dragon just started flying away, I was like, you just write him off?
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah.
He never shows up. He gets a
I was
mention
like,
40 minutes from now, and that's it.
yeah. Well, and then like even in the mention, he gets cut off. He's like flying east towards, and then Bear, I can't ever
Bronn.
say his name. Bronn is like, whoa, he's just heading east. Don't worry about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, so we don't give a f where the dragon's going, essentially. And God
And
dang
again, and then especially for that moment when Bran says, Bran and Bronn, that's what's going to trip you up.
Yeah, that's-
Bran says, I'll find him. I would have loved in episode 5, Bran had stealthily followed, like had Podrick bring him down to King's Landing, and he fucking warged into Drogon after Daenerys turned, and then he fucking killed her.
dude, that would have been fucking.
That would have been so fucking
cool.
awesome and totally unexpected,
Yeah.
and within the rules of the universe, because we know
Yeah.
Bran can do that.
Yep.
It would have been
And-
fucking awesome.
God.
But
I know.
alas, it didn't happen. Or, like, Daenerys catches Jon and is about to kill him, and then he wargs into Drogon. And
That would
and
be
he
cool.
uses Drogon to kill Daenerys to save Jon.
Ah.
Oh
be
shit,
down
that
with
would have
that.
been amazing. That would have been
Yeah.
fucking baller as hell. And we'll get to how that would have set up Jon later. So Jon stabs Daenerys. Awesome
Yep.
scene. Again, would
Really
have
powerful
played
scene.
better had their relationship had more time to breathe across multiple episodes
yeah.
and multiple scenes together, and off their advisors and family members. You know, seeing a relationship through the lens of other people around you as a
Mhm.
storyteller, as a storytelling device, would have been, I think, better for where it's like to get where they are, where they ended, because where they ended made a lot of sense. It was just the getting
Mhm.
there didn't.
The getting there was the weird.
And then we cut, and it's like weeks later. Again, we don't know how much. Clearly, spring
Yeah.
is back, which again,
Well,
they never explain
is-
this, but in the books they totally do. In that the winter seasons, like how it changes, totally magic. Like it's because of the magic of like how they put it together, like the wall and stuff. That's what
Okay.
causes the crazy swings in the spring and summer. Whereas it should be much more what we expect as seasons. Like it should be specific times.
'Cause
And like
I was-
it's
quite confused when it just like all of a sudden just seemed to switch, like weather-wise. Like I had to like wrap my head around.
Yeah,
there's
and they
still
don't
kind
even
of an
bring it up.
area.
Also,
Yeah.
what's up, Rhoda? Because hey, people, this is a
Rhoda.
live podcast. Go to twitch.tv/bottomshelfnerds. Links in the
Go there.
description. We do stuff live every Monday, maybe every other Monday after Game of Thrones is done. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
They don't ever explain it, which is again, that's kind of what the show
Yeah.
was. It explained things, and yeah, it left some stuff open to interpretation, but
Yeah.
it built its world very methodically, very deeply, even in the books and in the early seasons of the show. So to not explain the fact that, oh yeah, we killed the Night King, so winter's like basically just a regular season now, right? Like it's just
fucking-
going to be gone every 3 months out of the year or whatever. We're going to have winter,
Yeah.
and that's it. that would have, or rather, maybe have Sam say that the Maesters think that the winter was so short because we killed the Night King. So maybe seasons will get back on a more scheduled, on a more calendar schedule. And then you'll have Tyrion go, oh, thank fucking God. Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That'd
be freaking nice.
And that would have been a nice touch, and it would have played into Sam being this, more intellectual thinker. But they don't do it.
God, when he got written off during the council meeting, I was so like...
All right. So then we have the council scene.
Yeah.
Which, again, this should have been an entire episode unto itself.
Yeah.
Jon's been captured. Tyrion was already in prison. Mm-hmm. And Grey Worm's like, you don't get to speak.
Yeah.
Or I'll kill you. And then Tyrion totally speaks for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like, Grey Worm's the biggest bitch in the world.
Yeah.
Frick. And so then they have this talk about, like, how they need to end the wars and that they should pick a king, and everyone laughs at Sam for being democratic, and then they're like, hey, we'll vote anyway. That's totally going to work. And then Sansa's like, the Edmure thing, that was pointless to bring him back just for a joke. Like, he should have, number one, this council scene is where if they had spent 2 to 3 more episodes in each of the seasons, it would have made a lot more sense. Yeah. Bringing Edmure back, not bad. Mm-hmm. Why are we just seeing him now? Whereas if they had spent an episode of Varys traveling with Jon to King's Landing, putting that bug in his ear about, Daenerys is kind of losing it and, kind of gaining Jon's trust a little bit, feeling him out, and then they stop in the Riverlands to grab the Tully army to bolster their forces. And then you have Edmure join the party going into episode 5 and 6, or now would be then 6 and 7 if they'd spent an extra episode. Oh, God. That would have, again, made the payoff for the Entmoot or whatever you want to call it at the end better, because it would have been reintroduced to a character we'd seen several times, gotten a sense for where he's at in the world, where he's at in his head, and how he feels about Jon and the North and all that. Because they're close to the North, actually very close. Yeah. Being that they're related too. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it? Yeah.
And maybe an episode where, and if like maybe Yara had shown up in the battle to take on some of the outlying forces of the Greyjoys to attack in concert with Drogon.
That'd been sweet to have them like the boats pivot towards the fleet and then Drogon comes out of the sky.
Or they start attacking Drogon, and then out of fucking nowhere, Yara's got like 12 ships just with fucking huge battering rams on them.
Yeah!
And they go to fucking town.
That'd been cool to see, but Yara just stays up in the Iron Islands.
Call back to Battle of Blackwater Bay, a Greyjoy ship just starts slowly coming into the harbor. Got the same flag as Euron's troops. They don't think anything of it. And all of a sudden, you see somebody throw a torch in the water. Kaboom! Wildfire explosion takes out the entire Iron Fleet.
That'd be cool. Or pins
that'd have been
them
fucking
so
awesome.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that'd have been a great callback for Tyrion, because they'll be like, oh, that's Tyrion's idea.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been an amazing callback. And tactically made a lot of sense. And also reintroduced a character in Yara before the end game.
Yep. But no,
would have made a lot of sense. Again, more episode would have helped.
Definitely would have. We just need a little bit more.
Because having her at the moot there at the end, total sense. Her actions in that did not make any sense. Because the queen she pledged to is totally dead. Her asshole uncle, totally dead. Her brother, totally dead. She's the queen of the Iron Islands. Sansa just said fuck you to her brother and is like, I'm going to be queen. And then Yara's like, oh, we'll totally honor our oath to a dead queen.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make any sense.
That ain't the fucking Ironborn. That's not the Ironborn we've known. That's the North that would do that.
Yeah.
That also makes Sansa didn't make a whole lot of sense saying, I'll stay in the North.
Yeah, like keep them separate.
When
there's
it
a Stark on the throne. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How it happened. Again, how it happened.
How it happened, yeah.
So for me, this is where I really have a sticking point with the episode. Like, this was my biggest problem.
Okay.
Jon is forced into exile. So I would have loved to have him totally survive, and maybe be in prison, and then they have this whole moment of, well, there is no king, and then Tyrion looks at Sansa and goes, technically there is.
Yeah.
And then Tyrion spills the beans about Jon. Because they didn't pay off the fact that Varys totally told everyone who the fuck Jon was.
Yeah. Fucking
He
sent all
sent
his
out
tweets
like
out.
eight letters at least that we saw him write. Totally
Yeah.
got them out. And because we don't ever see him get captured sending them.
No, they're just not existent.
And
after
again,
this.
they just left that thread on the table when it's such a big one. When it's like, it would have made a lot more sense if they tell Jon you're king, and then he just looks at everybody, bitching about who should be on the throne and ruling and fighting, and he's just like, I think I'm done. And then he just leaves, walks away.
Just starts heading north.
That would have made way more sense for his character arc than forced exile / kind of a happy ending because we know how it ends.
Yeah. But
He just does no agency at the end. He's just, well, I guess I'll, whatever. Either he should have died by dragon.
Yep. Which I thought was
Or
100% coming after.
Literally just gone off the rails and said, fuck the game, fuck the throne, fuck all of you. I'm out. It would have made a lot more of a point to the fact that the game is bad. The game corrupts. The game is wrong. And Jon can be the honorable man that says, no, I'm going to be like my dad and just say, I don't want any of this.
Fuck
Bye.
this. Yeah.
That would have made a lot more sense. But I didn't mind the Bran being the king choice because totally, and again, more episodes could have paid this off. He was manipulating everybody.
Dude.
As soon as the Night King died, you could have set up the fact that Tyrion and his conversation would have maybe had Tyrion start to think, oh, maybe this guy could end up on the throne. Maybe the past should inform the future so much that the guy who knows everything about the past should be the future.
Yes.
Instead, they cut away from that entire conversation. So we didn't see what was said, what they talked about. All we're left to know is Tyrion knows about the Three-Eyed Raven stuff, and that's it.
Because I assumed during that time that Bran told Tyrion that Jon is the true king.
That's what a lot of people assumed. Now imagine, along with Tyrion and Varys going down with Jon, if Tyrion and Bran and Varys had all gone down. And that's when you have the Tyrion-Bran conversation, not in Winterfell before the Battle of Winterfell. You have that conversation on the way to King's Landing.
There we go.
That would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And could have added a lot of cool scenes to episode 4, or a whole other episode, like I said, a whole episode with the northern forces going south, and a whole episode with Daenerys going south. Like, tell 2 parallel stories across 2 episodes. So that way, you have a whole episode dedicated to Daenerys without any of her advisors, because they're with Jon.
Yeah.
And then that's the episode where Missandei dies. She dies, by spear or whatever from Euron.
Yeah.
She dies in Daenerys' arms or whatever. And that's her only advisor she has left, because they're all with Jon right now. And then, Rhaegal dies. And they get to Dragonstone. And you spend an entire episode, half an episode of her just losing her shit. And the men get to Dragonstone. The Northmen get to Dragonstone, and she's gone off the rails.
That would have been fucking sweet to actually see that version, because freaking...
Right?
We really never got, a true craziness besides the bell tolling and her burning the fuck out of people.
Yeah, it was, 3 minutes of setup, 7 years of foundation, which was good, 3 minutes of turn setup, and then 40 minutes of heal.
Yeah.
Not a great 3 minutes, to be honest.
No.
And again, I don't want to... I hate armchairing stuff this much, armchair quarterbacking stuff this much, because I still really like the show.
Yeah, same here.
Game of Thrones is one of my all-time favorite series.
Yeah.
I'm going to rewatch it tons of time. I will probably end up eventually buying the 4K Blu-ray set whenever I get a nice TV.
I'm with you there.
But damn, did they just... It felt like they just wanted to be done versus really finishing the story.
I never thought of it like that, but yeah, I think you're right. It did feel like, dude, we just want to get this shit done. We need to finish as soon as possible. the money's getting tight or something. I don't fucking know.
They didn't.
But I'm just
They
assuming
said in
things.
an interview, HBO would have given them as many seasons and episodes and as much money as they wanted because that's how much money Game of Thrones made them.
Jesus, so-
Factoring in DVR and the +7 numbers and stuff for
Yeah.
TV ratings, it was 19.6 million,
Jeez.
which is crazy considering how many of those are paid customers. Literally, like all of them.
Wow.
Well, not all of them because a lot are probably people on shared accounts and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a significant amount of money that was
Holy
made
fuck,
in that
dude.
episode. Because you
Holy
factor in it's, even if like only 60% of those people have a subscription, that's 60% of 19.6 million that are paying $15. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. So
And a
money's
lot of this season, again,
Hmm.
there was a lot of shades of, I can tell one of these dudes wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine. Also, what's up, Austin? Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Man, I really like the show, and I don't want to armchair quarterback everything. But there was just a lot I would have done differently. Yeah, the producers, they totally made the decision to do 7 when HBO was like, hey, you want 10 seasons of 10 episodes? Here's money. Take it. Back up the
Yeah.
Brinks truck. Let's fucking go. And they didn't. They made the choice to not. A lot of the actors are like kind of squirming and going like, And hats off to the cast, the crew,
Yes.
special effects, the cinematography was
Holy-
fucking gorgeous.
Dude,
One
it
of the
freaking was.
One of the coolest
the-
shot shows I've ever watched.
The battle scenes had some amazing parts for me. Just, oh, man. Some of the battle parts.
A lot of the battle
They're good.
scenes for me are right up there with the Battlestar Galactica, the slamming the Battlestar on New Caprica when they shoot out the fucking shoot out all the Vipers.
Vipers, yeah.
A lot of the battle scenes in Game of Thrones are up there for me. They're up there with that. That's one of my coolest television moments of all fucking time. Kick the chair back from the computer and throw your hands up kind of moment. A lot of stuff in Game of Thrones is up there for me. So, I mean, it's been an awesome 10 years.
It has been. It's been a great ride. But the way they wrapped it up, it felt hurried, and it felt like, For some reason, now I'm comparing it to, like, me doing a report, and it's like,
Oh, shit,
late
it's due
hour, and
tomorrow.
I'm like, oh, God, quickly, Wikipedia, copy, paste. Oh, let's freaking, yeah. I mean, I don't know, it just didn't feel... If the company's like, your money's basically infinite, do what you want to do, I mean, I don't know, why don't just go ham?
Yeah,
Not
like...
this.
There was and again, there's some other stuff to get through here. So they make the decision to exile Jon, and then because they exiled him because the Unsullied and the Dothraki wanted to kill him, and then the Dothraki and the Unsullied fucked right off to North.
Oh,
And
so
I-
the Dothraki went with him?
Pretty much.
I just
think
thought the
they set that
Dothraki
up.
were just like, oh, just walked away.
I
thought it was only
assume they went
Unsullied.
back to Essos.
Okay.
It
There's a
greatly
lot to
reduced
assume,
numbers,
yeah.
by the way.
Yes. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
They barely made... Because the first trip they made was fucking rough for them.
Uh-huh.
Across the poison water, call it.
Or maybe they're down in Dorne. They seem like they'd fit in Dorne.
Yeah, that seems like a dorm place, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just fill me in. Naeth?
North.
Or the Unsullied went.
N-A-A-T-H. That's where
Okay.
it's where Missandei was from.
Okay, that's what me and parents are trying to figure out, connect us, like, where Spursry's from. Okay. And, like, they just need protection or something down there? Her people?
Except when they go there, all the Unsullied are going to die. Because there's butterflies that have such a toxic venom to them that unless you have a built-in biological immunity, your skin will melt off.
Oh, Jesus.
It's fucking brutal.
That is a rough world to live in, man.
It's a rough world, man. J.R.R.M. did not fuck around when he built this world.
Damn.
It is designed for death and destruction and darkness
Oh,
and disease.
pure fucking
A lot of
Jeez.
D's,
Lots of
basically.
D's. He does like the D's.
So yeah, the Unsullied go off. Jon's exiled. We get an awesome scene with the Starks all saying goodbye. Arya, the Arya calling back to season 6. What's west of Westeros?
Yeah.
Fantastic
That's
fitting.
dope.
That's I think she got the best, most fitting ending.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that they paid all the attention to Arya's character in the writers' room.
Oh, they did.
Understandably so.
I felt she was like MVP kind of season 8. If I had to put one person there.
Of the last 3 seasons, probably. She had the Daredevil training in season 6.
Oh,
She had the
yeah,
redemption
shit, yeah.
of reclaiming her name, the killing of Walder Frey, which was so fucking
That
awesome.
was super fucking cool.
Yeah, and then the Littlefinger
Also
stuff,
delicious.
and then the Night
Yeah.
King, and now she gets the best ending. She gets the you
Yeah.
made all the right choices in the game ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas John makes you made the right choice, but you didn't do some of the side quests ending.
Really Mass Effect 1 for me. Or 2. First
Yeah.
playthrough.
Yeah, he gets this. You get this. That's the Suicide Squad ending when you didn't do a side
Yeah.
quest and Garrus dies. You're like,
Yeah.
no.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I know them feelings.
John got the shut the game off and reload immediately. And then-
Exactly. Where's the last? All right. So Gareth said before we go in. Okay, we need to do him. Yeah.
And again,
Uh,
how he ends in going to the north, going to the wall, and pretty
Yeah.
much setting himself up to be king beyond the wall, rebuilding the wildlings. Totally fine.
yeah.
Called
I'm
it,
fine
in
with that.
fact. Just forcing him to go there. No, that needed to be his choice. And he needed to show him making that choice for his character payoff, if you weren't going to kill him,
Yeah.
to make sense.
I agree with that.
And it just
Yeah.
didn't happen that way.
Yeah. Because like, he can't own. I don't know. Because he's like basically his own land up there essentially.
Yeah. Well, that and like, I kind of want to see like a couple different spin-off novels from all of this. And
Okay.
again, Sansa, Queen of the North.
Okay.
Why? What? If you're going to have one nation go independent, they all should have.
Yes.
That was
mean-
dumb. Because there is a Stark on the fucking throne and will be
Yeah,
for
that-
70-some years probably.
That's the one thing I didn't understand. I was like, why would the Starks not want to bend the knee to a fucking Stark? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Having her get a crown, fine. Or
Yeah.
maybe just have Tyrion pick her because he clearly knows she can rule.
Yeah.
That'd have been fine.
I honestly thought Tyrion was gonna do that, but then the whole brand pick, I was like, okay, that's cool too.
And
But-
then maybe, well, again, that's maybe a little too fantasy type ending because then they probably would have gotten back together and actually
Yeah.
consummated their marriage. Which again, they clearly respected each
Yeah.
other.
oh yeah, totally did.
You know, wouldn't have been the weirdest thing in the world.
No, it wouldn't
Uh,
have been.
But then we get the small council scene, which was cool. Really, really on the nose fan
Yeah.
service. Sam's a maester now when he clearly was like fuck being a maester last season, and he's
Yeah.
got a kid on the way.
Yeah, and then freaking
What?
He's a king of a. He's like
He's a leader of a great house, and now he's just a maester.
Yeah. So who the fuck's leading those people? His people.
I guess his mom, who we don't see.
What? Yeah, we saw her once, didn't we?
Like his
Like-
mom and his sister are still alive, but it's like,
Guess yeah.
You- why make him a maester? Like have him on the small council. That's fine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Qyburn wasn't a maester, so like
Oh, yeah.
he didn't need to be a maester to be on the council. He could have been. He could have made a position.
Yeah.
You know,
It basically was a maester. I mean,
maybe
yeah.
have him like master of history or whatever. Even though you have the three-eyed raven
Yeah.
on the throne, something
Yeah,
that
I
fit
was
his
gonna
character.
say. Yeah.
'Cause I actually like having Sam on the small council because him and Tyrion have a really good vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And as well as Davos,
Very
because they
fitting.
clearly all, except for Bronn, they all really do know each other.
Yeah.
Because they literally fought the dead together. Bronn's the odd man out of that small council because they
Yeah.
all fought the dead together.
God, he definitely is now thinking about that. I mean, the only connection he has with the small council really. I mean,
Yeah, it's Tyrion. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you cut
So
out
we-
there, so I was just repeating that.
Oh, okay, you're good. Yeah, he's really the only connection there. And
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So who the fuck? I didn't even think of that till you just said that. We thought about this. Who is leading his people?
I don't know who leads the
Gilly?
Tarleys. Like,
Gabe?
is
uh,
Gilly by proxy?
I'm guessing. I don't know the structure of. They can't. Can they own land? And
I don't
a
know if
maester?
maesters can. I can't remember if they had to be like kind of cloistered almost, like nuns,
yeah,
or
it had that. They had
If-
that feeling.
or if Sam was just like, I'm just wearing the cloak, but I don't need the chain because fuck that.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly already done that multiple times.
Yeah.
That didn't need to. He didn't need to be a maester for me. He needed to be
Yeah.
someone who's like playing the role of a maester, kind of, because he
Yeah.
knows about medicine and he knows how to
that
research and
spot.
learn, and like is very knowledgeable on the level
Right.
I think of Tyrion, just without
Yes.
the Machiavellian tendencies, basically.
Yeah. And the one thing I did like about the scene, back to the scene a little bit, that he actually did write the book of Fire and Ice.
Well, he didn't. He helped with the title.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Who
to be
wrote
fair,
it then?
he should have totally wrote it as Bran is the one and only primary source. Because Bran knows
Yeah.
fucking everything.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get that either. I was like,
Like,
why
if you're
would
gonna go
you do
that
it?
hard on the fan service, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Just cut to like a 60 years later, old Sam narrating as he closes the book.
dude.
If you're gonna go that
Like,
hard in the fan service,
oh man,
commit. Fucking
Dude.
commit.
how awesome
Yeah.
would that have been? Holy
People would have
shit.
hated it so much.
I'm sure a lot of people. I personally would have liked it though. Just been like,
Also, what's up, chat? Hey, we got a couple new people.
Good.
We got Clammy
Woo.
and Scott's and Drums. Hello, welcome to the
Yeah.
stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, it's a live podcast. Make sure you head over to twitch.tv/bottomshelfnerds for podcast and gaming goodness. So, small council meeting is actually put a big fucking smile on my face.
yeah,
Like,
same
that
here.
was some old school Game of Thrones. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bron and Davos are gonna fucking go at it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna be Varys and Littlefinger. Like, but like, be totally cool with just going to get fucking drunk together afterwards.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they're not gonna fucking
Right?
like, try to.
Like, that's gonna be awesome. That would have been so cool to see for multiple episodes. It would have been awesome.
God, them
And
trying to, like-
again, like even now, I'm kind of like tearing up wistfully thinking about how cool that is. Brienne, again, another one of those like, why was that the decision? I get her being the Kingsguard, like Lord
Mhm.
Commander, but the lady she was sworn to is queen of an independent nation.
Yeah, she should have been up in the north. Because she kind of
What?
breaks the oath because she was supposed to protect.
That's not her character. She wouldn't have broken that oath unless she was specifically released to do so by
Oh,
Sansa,
yeah.
which we don't see.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh.
assumptions and telling, not showing, which is
Fair.
not Game of Thrones.
And also another weird thing, like the whole scene where she was writing Jamie's, I don't know, epilogue, or you gonna call it, his story.
That was really cool. That was very, like, good. Like, you could totally get, oh, she'd do that.
Oh yeah, she totally would, but like, why are you still in armor? That was like my only thing. I mean, she seemed uncomfortable writing.
Oh, she was always in armor. When was she not in
I
armor?
know. That's true, but I mean, just like, why would you write in armor? See,
Yep.
It just seemed. That was just like. That was
Yep,
the whole
I
thing.
agree. And then
Sure.
we get here, basically, Bran rolls in, clearly
Mhm.
just gonna tell everyone to go, hey, do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find Drogon. Again, dropping the fact that, yeah, he can totally warg into a dragon. So why the fuck didn't he during the
Yeah.
last season? That would have been so fucking awesome. Have him,
I-
like, warg into, like, Rhaegal or Drogon during the final battle or when they meet Euron's forces. Holy shit, that would have been so cool. But he
That
didn't.
was really fucking good. Yeah. Nope.
Like-
Reckon just.
Again, why was that left on the table? Like, that was set up years ago when they were like, you can't walk again, but you'll learn to fly.
Yeah.
And it's
Not
just
through-
through fucking ravens? Come on.
Yeah,
You
I
got
know.
fucking dragons in your show, dude.
Give him a chance to take control of a dragon, or get an episode or an episode where he tries to warp into a dragon, and the dragon fights him back or something like that.
Yeah,
It's something
and
that's really
or paying
tough.
paying off the dragons are intelligent.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been an
But-
awesome moment in the show.
Yeah.
And more clearly defining Bran's powers. Because if you're gonna have basically Professor X, you
Mhm.
need to define what that is.
Yeah, give him like a
As you
limit.
get towards the end game, you need to get a handle on where things are, so that way your imagination is more focused in the aftermath. Like when you're no longer with this character, you need to know where it's going to go. I mean, or not know, but have a fairly vague outline of how things are going to shake out. And with Bran, you have no fucking idea
Honestly, you know.
because he was such a cipher that they literally cut him out of an entire season.
Like,
But he's got the best story.
Oh, he
Dumb
does.
fucking line. Picking him
That was
totally
fucking-
makes sense from Tyrion's
Yeah.
perspective. He's got the best storyline, while Arya and Sansa, even Yara,
Oof.
sitting next to him. The fuck? Tyrion's
But he's
got a
like-
better fucking story.
Supposed to rule people. He's not. I mean, he's not a people person, as we've seen from this season. I mean,
Exactly. And again, from Tyrion's perspective, he's just going to be a king. Like, someone will rule for him, essentially.
No.
Someone with a level head behind the scenes will rule for him. Totally makes sense. That's totally a Tyrion thing to decide. But the crux of his decision, the why the decision was made the way it was, even though the outcome was the same, makes no sense.
Yeah.
And that's my big problem with a lot of the show.
Cool.
But I want to get to the final bits before we talk about our next segment, which is essentially
Okay.
what are our favorite moments of the last 10 years.
Oh,
and then a
fuck.
final fuck it, we'll do it live where we watch a trailer. So if you're still
Okay.
watching in chat, by the way, let us know what you thought about the episode.
Yes,
what you didn't.
please.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
good. Gucci? Sorry.
Sorry.
That's-
Just got an alert on my phone. So anyway, so then this is where I want to end things, because again, this is where Jon should have lived and decided to go into exile and told everyone to basically go fuck themselves over this goddamn throne. That would have been a Jon Snow move from seasons 1 through 7. Not season 8 Jon Snow, who's apparently the world's biggest fucking tool. But anyway,
Oh, God.
so we cut to him saying his goodbyes. Really touching scene. The Stark theme kicking up and just echoing around the place. I fucking love that theme. It's
That's
so just. It reminds me a lot of the Rohan theme in Lord of the Rings. Just kind of like a little haunting and like bittersweet and like really just evocative in a way that's not like ominous or anything. It's just, it makes you feel many different things depending on what you're seeing or feeling in the moment. It just,
True.
it's a really good theme. I love it. And they all say their goodbyes, and Arya says, "I'm going west of Westeros." And then Jon gets in the boat, goes to the wall, the door opens, boom, who does he see? Motherfucking Tormund. The OG from the fucking
I wish
Tormund.
you would have said something or like done the tackle hug.
Wish you would have at least smiled.
Uh,
But I get the whole playing that silently bit, because you want the music and the moment to just soak in.
yeah,
You don't want to ruin that with some bad dialogue or a joke that's going to land flat. You
Yeah,
just
that's
let the moment happen. Let it play out. Let your mind wander. And then fucking Ghost gets his pet.
he did it, folks. He got a pet. They finally were able to afford a fucking CGI. Probably a real wolf, probably. Freaking
Again,
pet the
after
dog.
they had said in interviews HBO would have given us as much money as we wanted, Ghost finally gets his pet. And then
Freaking A.
Jon, the wildlings are all very clearly happy to see him. Like, I rewatched that scene. They clearly love this dude because they understand he saved our king, Mance Rayder, from a horrible death.
Horrible.
He
death.
saved our people at Hardhome. He came, sacrificed his men for us,
Mhm.
and then he gave his life for us. Like, they clearly love him. Clearly.
Oh yeah.
And so then he leads them beyond the wall. The door closes behind him, and they just walk off into the forest as the music fades away.
Uh-huh.
And it's exactly where the show started, right north of the wall. So it's a nice
yeah.
little tie-in between the very first shots of the pilot versus the shots of the finale. Really nice little thematic bookend.
Yeah.
And Jon is basically going to
finale.
go fuck around in the north.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be the leader of the Night's Watch. He's like, nah.
Again, that's where the setup doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Him going into the north to live a free life without bending the knee to anyone or any fucking thing,
Mhm.
that has been set, like,
It'd been
that
way-
was Jon's ending from the beginning of season 7, basically.
It makes way more sense, yeah, because like he's not really Night's Watch then if he's not going to stay at
Yeah,
Castle Black or
again,
whatever.
exiling him to the Night's Watch doesn't
Eh.
make sense. Him choosing to exile himself from the Seven Kingdoms
a lot better.
makes all the sense. Same ending, how you
Mhm.
get there
Yeah.
makes way more sense.
Same cuts almost, Jesus. Just,
All right,
Ugh.
so
No.
yeah, honestly though, as much as I've bagged on the episode, I didn't hate it.
Same
I did-
here.
I didn't want to turn off my computer and go, I'm fucking
Done.
done. But
If Jamie's hand moved in the rubble, I was like,
yeah. By the
Doesn't
way,
they show-
that was
oh,
fucking
God.
dumb. Hey, if they just stood 15 feet to their right, they'd have lived.
I know. It's just like- that
What?
should have been unbreachable. It should have been unbreachable, but no.
Like,
he
you
just
didn't
had to
need that
be-
breakdown from Tyrion.
No.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Peter Dinklage is the fucking man,
Fuck, it is.
but you didn't need it.
No. It
So-
was, yeah. Because, like, when he started doing that, like, motherfucker, if any one of those live, I'm just going to walk out.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. But it didn't happen, thank God. But, actually, I felt it was a okay ending.
Yeah, given
mean, like-
where episode 5 had ended, the finale was as good as we were going to get.
Yeah.
It was not horrible. It was better than episode 5, I think. But I'd give
Yeah.
it like a C.
Yeah,
I've
C++.
seen way worse finales. I've seen a hell of a
It's a
lot
lot
better
worse.
finales, which I'll talk about in a second. But Joey,
Mhm.
like I said, it's been 10 years
God,
of
yeah.
Game of Thrones, of politics, backstabbing, betrayals, and badass battles. What's your favorite moments in Game of Thrones? Chat, cue yours up. I want to know yours too. Want to have a little discussion about
My-
Game of Thrones.
Would have to be the like you said, Daredevil training scene with Arya. I thought the whole I was obsessed with the gods of many faces.
Yeah, the
The guy-
many-faced god. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. We need more of this, I thought. And when Arya feeds Walter
Walder Frey.
Walter Frey, okay. Yeah,
Walder
Frey's-
with a D.
Walter, okay. Walter Frey with his family member. I thought his family. I thought was kind of a really cool part.
Hell
And
yeah,
then
that
he
was one of the
slits
best
her throat.
openings in any television
I
show
was like,
ever.
motherfuckers. What is another good one? I'd say Battle of Bastards is freaking just just fucking just yeah, it's heart wrenching, and then just you thought he's gonna lose there, and then just the veil comes. When Tyrion meets Ron for the first time, when he trial by combat, I thought that was pretty cool.
Such a great scene.
Pretty fucking cool. Like he gets gets the other night Tucker down and stuff. Another cool scene where Drago pours the gold on top of
Viserys.
Viserys. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Here's your crown or something. Just very buff man freaking dumps it. Another good scene would hit. Man, there's a lot. What are some of yours, Tom?
Well, like you hit on the Battle of the
like a-
Bastards. It's visually
Yeah.
it was just stunning,
Oh,
just
God.
visceral and just disgustingly brutal
Yeah.
and awesome, and very emotionally with great payoff because of
Yes.
the ending with Ramsay.
Oh,
Like, and,
That
and
would've been
again,
fun.
even then, you start to see they were speeding things up too much. Like, the Vale arriving should have been the Rohan arrives moment. You know, when they had set up that we knew we
Oh.
knew Rohan was coming, but
Yeah.
the shots of the movie stayed so long on Gondor, we just kind of forgot about him. Because there's a lot of Rohan in the beginning of Return of the King, right?
Yeah.
And then they're just
Sure.
fucking gone for like an hour. And then an hour in, everybody's dying. Boom, the horns come on. And then you're like, fuck it, let's go.
They're here.
Like, that's what made that such a great moment. Whereas the Vale didn't get that because there was no setup that Sansa was
Yeah.
actually reaching out to them beyond a letter.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not really... I mean, again, it was a great moment. But just in
Yeah.
hindsight, you're going, huh. How'd she know when and where and how that fast? Whereas Rohan, we know when they're coming. We know how they're coming. We know
But
they know they're going to their death, but fuck it, it's going to be a great death because there's proper setup paid to them coming in to
Okay.
save the day, and then they pull
Yeah.
the cinematic trick of making you forget about them until they come in to save the fucking day in one of the best
Super.
cinematic moments of all time. Whereas, and even in season 6, one of the best battles ever put to film, they didn't quite nail the payoff of the saving the day moment because the setup wasn't there. And the same problem, just far bigger in season 7 and 8.
Huge. Yes.
But holy shit, Battle of the Bastards. God damn,
Dude.
all of the music was great. Ramin Djawadi.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Round of applause there.
Oh my god, the
Freaking-
Night King score, the Battle of the Bastards score,
Oh.
Winds of Winter, Blood of My Blood, the Stark theme, the Lannister theme.
Fuck.
Oh my god!
Such a good job.
Oh, we got a host. What's up, Rhoda? Thank you for that host, dude.
No, it was.
The music's amazing. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is one of
Oh,
the best episodes of TV I have ever watched. I was crying from happy tears. I had a big fucking smile on my face when Brienne gets knighted.
Yeah.
And then, which does kind of tinge what happens later because of how it ends, but still,
Yeah.
that episode, even in this season, even in a not narratively, I think, successful season, you still have a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms type episode.
Yeah.
And that speaks to how culturally relevant and how awesome this show has been for 10 fucking years,
10 years, jeez.
which is crazy. I mean, it really should have only been 9, but again, because of how weather worked out logistically, we had to wait.
Yeah,
But
we had to wait.
god damn,
Fuck.
it's been an awesome ride. So chat, anybody kicking around in chat want to say what their favorite moment is from Game of Thrones? Just give us one. Let us know. If you don't, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
I know Rhoda's around because he just hosted us. So he should.
Nah.
I know Austin was around.
What was your biggest reveal? Thomas,
mean?
wait for chat. Like, not biggest reveal, biggest shocker.
I knew about the Red Wedding, even though it was really viscerally stunning. Like, oh my god, they're doing that.
Well, throat cutting. Oh god.
Other moments. I had a lot of season 7 spoiled for me.
Oh.
Trying to think.
One for me was the beheading of Ned Stark.
Yeah, because you were watching it live. I was watching it in a catch-up mode.
Yeah.
I
was like, what the fuck?
Oh, the Stannis and Shireen stuff. When Shireen gets burned alive, that fucking wrecked me.
Yeah, that was
I was ready to just delete the internet right then, because I was distraught.
Yeah, because the screen... Oh, God, yeah.
Like, that just hurt my soul.
I think my brain purposely blocked that out. Because I'm just remembering it now, and I've got chill.
It's terrible. It's one of the worst, but, like, can't look away moments in television for me, and I watch a lot of TV.
Oh, damn it. Oh my god, I totally... I'm feeling again! Why do you do this to...
I know. So yeah. You got any more thoughts on Game of Thrones, Joey? We're going about 50 minutes. Okay, season premiere when Melisandre resurrects Jon right at the end when you hear his breath kick up. Fuck yeah, that was one of those.
That was pretty cool.
Yes moments. A lot of season 6 had a lot of those moments, like when Sansa and Jon reunite. When Ramsay gets eaten alive, which is weird to say that's a fist pump moment because the dude's getting eaten alive by his own dogs. But man, did he fucking deserve it. When Theon gets Sansa's blessing, like I'm going home. When Brienne like is accepted into Sansa's service as the Stark theme kicks back up. Oh
yeah, season 6 is really good.
And the King of the North scene when they declare Jon King of the North.
Yeah.
And plus that whole episode of Battle of the Bastards, including Daenerys's, we're here to accept your surrender moment. When Drogon comes up and bam, just lands right next to her. Holy fucking shit. That was awesome. Austin says, I just wish we knew more about the Weirwoods and how they work and stuff. Exactly. That's where 3 or more episodes could have paid off with, like, Bran manipulating things.
Oh.
Right? Like, have him be Littlefinger on fucking steroids of, like, he totally does actually want to rule because he knows he's the best chance to rule. He's the best leader on the table.
Yeah.
So he wants to be... So he's playing... Like, he manipulates Jon into telling Daenerys because he knows that'll be a wedge and all these things. Like, showing that, even just a few hints, like 2 or 3 scenes, would have been fucking awesome.
What if the conversation in Winterfell was him testing that ability?
You cut out again. What'd you say?
What if the conversation in Winterfell was a test his ability to manipulate people?
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
That would have been fucking cool. He's like, maybe I can do something.
Yeah, but we don't see that.
Oh.
You know, we're just left with his cryptic, why'd you think I came all this way? It's like setting up that he clearly knew it was going to happen this way, but like you didn't set that up at all.
Yeah.
Other things we got, Littlefinger gets a mafia necktie. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Again, another moment where the setup wasn't super great. It's clumsy, but goddamn was it emotionally satisfying.
Shit.
Arya spinoff, having her explore the origins of the First Men. She goes to the Shadowlands of Asshai and like into old Valyria where the slaves rebelled and when because that's where the slaves from Braavos that founded Braavos came from was old Valyria. They were slaves there.
Oh, okay.
Have her go through the Shadowlands of Asshai where like remember the Bloodgrass or whatever that the Dothraki are deathly afraid of? That like it's like basically kudzu, but like on steroids again, and will take over every plant. And like, because it's this like weird Far Eastern mythical type society in Asshai, which is where Melisandre is from, and the the lady in Karth, the lady in the mask, she's also from Ashai.
Okay.
Have Arya exploring the Shadowlands for like a season or something, even if that's just like a graphic novel or something.
Yeah. Ooh, I'd buy the
Shit.
fuck out of that.
Yeah, I'd pick that up. That'd be
Ah,
awesome.
God. Holy cow.
Austin says, actually, top moment for me is when the Night Watch first tries to kill Davos. Yeah, and when they come in to save, when Ed leads in the Knights, the Wildlings, and the giant picks up a dude and just whacks him against the side of the wall. So
That's
good.
powerful, man.
And Tormund just fucking wrecks Sir Thorne or whatever, Alistair Thorne. Great moment.
Shit. Oh,
yeah.
when on the wall when they released the wall scythes, that was super cool.
When Ed just goes, release the scythe.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Just drops down the ice scythe. So cool.
I was like,
That's why I was a little disappointed in the Battle of Winterfell. We didn't get a cool moment like that where they did something totally unexpected that makes all the sense in the world. Like dropping like a fucking steamroller ass size thing of dragonglass down on a ramp or something at the army of the undead that would have rolled for forever or whatever and lit shit on fire as it went. That'd have been so cool. But we didn't get anything like that.
no.
But man, that the whole battle, the siege of Castle Black.
Yeah, that was fucking
And again,
good too. God.
Same setup. Jon was gonna go kill fucking Mance Rayder and die in the process. And then 4 seasons later, he's a punk bitch who wants to justify mass genocide.
Yeah, he would never
Without changing for more than... He only changed in 2 episodes. What? The fuck? Okay, again, I don't want to bag anymore on the show. So yeah, I think that's just about 55 minutes-ish on Game of Thrones.
Oh, good fucking run.
It was an awesome 10 years, and I don't know if there's ever going to be another show like it that literally unites us to make a podcast ranting for 55 minutes about it.
True. That'd be very tough to find.
Now, to be fair, there are still some absolutely amazing TV shows that I even haven't watched yet. Like, I hear Star Trek Discovery got fucking baller awesome.
Nice.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is fucking fantastic. Legends of Tomorrow became amazing. 12 Monkeys just ended last year, which was one of my favorite shows of all time. We got The Mandalorian coming out in November. You've got Stranger Things. You've got Westworld in 2020, another HBO production. You've got an HBO Watchmen series. Just tell me that ain't going to be fucking interesting.
That's going to be
hell.
so cool.
You're like, there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, but I don't know if there's a show that's going to, like, again, unite 19.6 million people on a paid subscription service, like, as in invested with their money. Because, like, NCIS and stuff pulls in, like, 25 million a week, but it's free television. Like, it's on broadcast network. It's a hell of a lot different to pull in 19.5 million people on a paid network subscription service. I don't know if there's going to be another show quite like that.
And, like, also, like...
Week to week. Yeah.
And stretching out to so many people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, a diverse amount of people. Because there's people at work I didn't know that actually, like, kind of fantasy to, like, oh, yeah, talk about Game of Thrones. Like, wait, dragons? You dragons? Like, yeah, me dragons. I'm like, cool, dragons! And...
Exactly. It's one of those water cooler type shows that I don't know if it's going to happen again. I really don't.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
I mean, I know, like, on Netflix, they say 40 million people watched The Umbrella Academy Season 1. Now, they didn't say when that window was, how long that 40 million people came from.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like, that's a shitload of people. But how many would have stayed week to week like a Game of Thrones? You know? Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know.
I didn't watch The Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, you should. Umbrella Academy is right up your alley, dude. You'll fucking love it.
Okay.
Again, you're not working 4 days out of the week anymore. Fucking watch the TV shows. Get the fuck to work on the show list I gave you.
Get the fuck, dude.
We got a podcast to do. Get on my level of pop culture knowledge, bro.
You mean the Odyssey list of?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do need to watch it.
Yeah.
Some more stuff.
Yeah, it's basically my pop culture manifesto. Watch all this shit.
I like that.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a lot of other shows that do episodic stuff too. Like again, the Star Trek Discovery does an episodic release. We haven't seen if Mandalorian will or what the Disney show release cycle is going to look like. It's all being shot ahead of time, so they're not pulling the network, hey, we're like 3 or 4 episodes ahead type release. So they could drop it all at once because it'll be done.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, the Netflix model. But other Disney stuff on Hulu doesn't. Like Runaways doesn't.
Ooh.
Uh,
So maybe that's a good vision for it. Might be a weekly thing.
yeah. And other
That's
comic book
not.
stuff too. DC's stuff is all weekly. Now, Young
Yeah.
Justice is in batches because it's 20-minute episodes, but Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, and I think the other stuff they have that's coming out is all going to be weekly too. So like, I think we're seeing a shift back to weekly content almost because, for the longest time it was binges, and I
Yeah.
think
Oh
we're
God, yeah.
maybe starting to see a slight shift back into properly produced, well-funded, structured as a weekly watched show instead of structured as a binge show.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot
I
of
think-
shows that get away with not being as good in the mid episodes because they know it's a binge episode show. They know you're watching 3 to 4 in a row, so they can take some narrative shortcuts because they know you're just
gonna keep going through. Yeah.
you're not sitting and picking between episodes like we do with Game of Thrones. They know you're not doing that. But I think we're maybe seeing a small shift back towards that kind of show, which I'm all here for.
I liked it because I mean, like, I sat down with my family for the first time in a long time and watched a TV show with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I really liked
we've
how
done that.
12 Monkeys did it. Not to rail on that, like not to bring that show up too much, but I fucking love that show. It's one of the greatest shows I've ever watched. And only 250,000 people watched the final season, which is crazy.
Sure.
And it was the best final season of a show I've ever watched. And you guys know how much I watch.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. I think people just got lost in the time travel stuff, but it was one of the best time travel shows. Period. Anyway, their last 3 seasons were 4 weekends, 2 to 3 episodes a weekend. Season's done.
Okay.
It was like a super condensed release of like a Game of Thrones. It was awesome. I would love to see more shows do that. That'd be great. You get an entire weekend's worth of content, an entire weekend evening's worth of content, and then work week, next weekend, even more. That's pretty cool. I'd love to see more shows do that. So we'll see where things go from here. So chat, any other closing thoughts from you guys on Game of Thrones in general, or just your outlook on TV? What are you looking forward to in 2019 as well as early 2020, because they announced the Westworld trailer? Dope trailer. But Joey hasn't seen that trailer, or Joey hasn't seen Westworld yet, because he's super behind on my pop culture manifesto.
I want to ask you a quick thing. You brought up DC. I just
you cut out again. What was that?
Since you brought up DC, it just made me think of this. Robert Pattinson. Patterson, whatever. New Batman? Question mark?
I'm game. Matt Reeves is a hell of a director, and if it's his pick, man, we'll see. I mean, Heath Ledger was a rom-com dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he so was.
And then he became the best Joker of all time, standing next to Mark Hamill.
Fuck.
Right? Like,
oh, yeah.
He's 33. Bale was 31 when he took over. Now, to be fair, I wanted the dude that plays Gendry to be Batman, because he's a dead fucking ringer for young Christian Bale.
Shit.
Seriously. I would have loved to see them be like, you know what, fuck the Bruce Wayne story. Let's do a Terry McGinnis movie, and you bring in Kevin Conroy as old Bruce, and it's the dude that plays Gendry as Terry McGinnis. My mind would have exploded. My mind would have fucking exploded. And then you bring in like a old Joker, and it's Mark Hamill. Fuck! Take my money.
Yeah, just
that would have been so cool. That would have been so amazingly cool.
Hours.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have completely fallen apart. It would have fallen on its face probably in so many different ways. But goddamn, would have been so fucking cool. The hype for that would have been so awesome. But speaking of Batman, Joey, it's time for Fuck It, We'll Do It Live. This is a recurring segment where Joey and I watch a trailer for the first time. And in this case, Joey hasn't watched this trailer, and I have.
True.
It's been a lot of the other way around lately.
Yeah. Kind of odd.
So this is the trailer for Batwoman, the first look trailer for the show coming up on the CW. It stars Ruby Rose as Cat Kane, which is Batman's cousin. I want to say it's like, I can't remember what side. I don't. It's her origins and stuff has changed, but so this is set in the CW Arrowverse. It remains to be seen how this will be affected by the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is also another really cool thing they're doing, which is 5 fucking hours this year, which is crazy. So they're doing like all the shows plus a part 2 finale, which is really cool. Yeah. And I'm hoping they'll condense Supergirl's Earth back into Arrows, because Melissa, I think it's Benoit, is how you say her last name? She's awesome in the crossover episodes. Like, always a standout. I would love to see her show up more because she shoots in Vancouver, unlike Black Lightning, which is an Atlanta-based show. Though I would love to see Diggle, aka their Green Lantern, show up on Black Lightning. That'd be fucking dope. Because Arrow's ending next year. But that's enough. That's enough on the CW, Joey. Are you ready to hit play on this trailer?
I'm ready.
All right, hit play in 3. It's a long one. So chat, let us know if you don't want to watch the whole thing. It's 3 minutes. But here we go. All right, Joey. 3, 2, 1, play.
Crows represent order, security, safety.
Batman gave up on us. The Bat's not coming back.
Something's up. Eyes everywhere.
Hello, said Alice. Shall we believe the crows will protect us?
Agent Moore, do you copy? Do you copy?
Sophie's missing. I thought you should know.
Hey, Dad.
We're gonna find her.
Then let me help.
Bad idea. Where'd you get this? What happened to staying out of it?
Is there something you'd like to report to your squad?
We ran in without proper backup.
I do not want her getting in the way.
Curiouser and curiouser.
What do you want?
I need you to send your father a message.
You're all I have left, Kate. And I don't want to lose you too.
Wayne Security. You owe my boss a new door.
Your boss is my cousin.
You don't want to go near that. You were seriously not supposed to know what's down there.
So I have this thing with rolls.
I was thinking Professor Pig.
Oh, okay.
But Dollmaker would be an interesting way to go. They kind of already did it in the Arrowverse, though.
Fix his suit
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he's in season 2 of Arrow.
when it fits a woman.
Great episode, by the way, because when Black Canary comes back.
Oh.
You're a female Bruce Wayne.
Awesome, hilarious, handsome. They think I'm him. I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
All right. So, what's your takeaway, Joey?
I like it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
God. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Arrow's ending, so I'm hoping they can bring in
Some of the-
some of their better action directors for the show.
Especially if you're gonna do a Batwoman.
Because you know they're going to bring in Batman in like season 2 or 3. You know what's happening. You know the
Oh,
season
yeah.
1 cliffhanger, if it gets renewed, is definitely going to be Bruce Wayne's back.
Yeah.
100%. And that actually might be really interesting. Because I give Arrow shit for some of their narrative stuff, but man,
Yeah.
they had some really good action set pieces sometimes. If they just weren't consistent enough. What are you doing? You're like super close to your camera.
I was like, I've cut back to a minute 16 where they're revealing her background.
Oh, yeah.
The crazy lady. When I thought, I was like, doll fucking maker?
I can't remember who she's supposed to be. I think she's like White Rabbit or something like that. It's in one of the press releases.
Oh,
Interestingly
okay.
enough, she plays Batman's daughter, I think, in Birds of Prey, which was also a WB show way back in the day. And then the guy who breaks into her, like catches her breaking in the Wayne Tower, is Lucius Fox's son, who becomes Batwing in the comics. Yeah, basically watch Batman: Bad Blood. I think it's on Netflix still. Might be on DC. It's on DC Universe for sure.
Okay.
Decent, thing. I'm not a huge fan of the new DCU Batman that they've got on their animated stuff. Their Nightwing's dope because it's Sean Mayer, the Doctor from Firefly.
Oh, nice.
He plays Nightwing, and he's awesome. He's fantastic in the role. He's right up there with Neil Patrick Harris for me for voice work. But man, everything else about the new Batman stuff kind of sucks. Except for Batwing was pretty dope, and Batwoman was played by Yvonne Strahovski, Sarah Offchuck. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, a lot of their stuff, not a huge fan of how they've been doing Batman lately. It just pales in comparison to Kevin Conroy. I'm sorry. Even Bruce Greenwood. Bruce Greenwood's amazing. He's in Young Justice. You should all watch that show.
Please watch Young Justice.
Yeah, we've been going a little over an hour. We watched the trailer.
Ooh.
We talked a lot about Game of Thrones. We didn't even get to talking about John Wick, but we'll probably do that next week, Joey, because next week's kind of a dead week until Godzilla comes out that next Friday. Plus, we'll have Memorial Day off, so we'll probably do this Tuesday.
Shit, look at the dislikes on this video. It's quite heavy.
It's because it's... this is exactly the kind of stuff that people go, oh, it's too feminist. And it's like, yeah, but that's exactly how Batwoman was made. Like...
Yeah.
Right? Like,
That's
I
what
think
thought
they've done a
about
really
this. I
good
was
job
like,
adapting
yeah.
Cat Kane for a CW, which doesn't have a lot of the budget that a lot of other places do. But man, they got some awesome ambitions with what they do with their comic book universes, and I will give them a lot of credit for that. Well, Joey, it's been a good night.
Sorry, reading the comments. Yeah, it has been.
Don't read the comments. Never read the comments.
Yeah, it's got really bad, and I'm a little depressed.
It's going to be bad.
So
thank you everyone from chat for hanging out.
Yeah.
It's been a good night talking Game of Thrones. I don't
That's
know if
been
we'll ever have a
fun,
show like this to talk about it again, but goddamn, we probably will because Stranger
Try.
Things, and then The
Oh,
Mandalorian, which also has a Game of Thrones connection because of Pedro Pascal.
Definitely.
I'm
probably
gonna watch the shit out of that
Mandalorian.
show.
Yeah.
It's like $7 a month. Come on, you're gonna watch the shit out of that show too.
Oh, you're gonna watch the fuck? Yeah, you are. It's Star Wars. Awesomeness.
Let me do it. Plus, we got to get Fusion on here to talk about Swamp Thing when it drops. Yeah, that's another one that's coming out. So,
Ooh, okay.
if you're watching this on YouTube, go give us a follow over at twitch.tv/bottomshelfnerds so you can stay up to date with our live podcasts, our gameplays, stuff like our charity stream, which we just ran this past weekend, raising $1,000 for Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. It was a great weekend, 15 hours of streaming with some awesome friends from around our Twitch community/network we've built over the couple years we've been streaming stuff. So we'd love to have you there and love to talk with you live over on our Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.